Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here, and now a couple days after Trump, Tillerson and UN Ambassador Nikki Haley claimed they are not interested in overthrowing Assad. A couple days after a false flag attack on Syrian citizens blamed on Assad despite no motive whatsoever. Soon after Hillary Clinton called for strikes on Syrian military bases, Trump teamed up with John McCain and Lindsey to strike a Syrian government base with 59 tomahawk missiles. 58 touched down. Trump drank the Kool-Aid of the deep state, and this is further evidence that the deep state is always president. The global order always pushes their script forward, regardless of who's in office. We've been talking about this for years, but people always have this weird concept that the new king is better than the old king, and repeat, and repeat, and repeat. While people are furious with Trump, there are still some Trump supporters defending Trump for doing just what they themselves warned of warhawk Hillary Clinton doing just months ago. It goes to show the religion of statism. There are currently Russian warships headed towards the US destroyer which strike the Syrian base. According to Russian Prime Minister Medvedev's statement, the last remaining election fog has lifted. Instead of an overworked statement about a joint fight against the biggest enemy, ISIS, the Islamic State, the Trump administration proved that it will fiercely fight the legitimate Syrian government in a tough contradiction with international law and without UN approval. The strikes have now put the US on the verge of a military clash with Russia. Putin also said, and I quote, "Trump ordered the strikes under a far-fetched pretext. Russia's military will reduce cooperation with the US and reinforce Assad's air defenses." Putin also warned of negative consequences. The global establishment wants a world war for the monetary system and for absolute global collectivist control. Trump changed his tune entirely in the past week, saying he stands for not just the US, but for the world. Even Ann Coulter and Paul Joseph Watson are calling Trump out. I was against the destabilization of Syria and further growth of the military-industrial complex under Bush and Obama. I'm not changing that just because Trump says some things that sound okay every now and then. It's called consistency. I prefer no state, but I certainly don't stand for poking the Russian bear, killing children because other children were killed, and starting a world war. This is so incredibly irresponsible and tragic. Our lives are at risk, and I will call it out regardless of which puppet sits in the Oval Office. Tillerson has put the idea of a no-fly zone on the table, which would involve shooting down Russian planes in Syria. Precisely what Hillary Clinton ran on. The establishment wants us to believe that days after Assad was let off the hook by the United States government, after they claimed that they won't overthrow him, that he decided to gas his own people, children nonetheless. It is an absurd talking point. It is absurd propaganda, and people who believe it need to give their heads a shake. The same thing happened in 2013, and then it was proven later on that it was indeed not Assad. And then in 2014, John Kerry claimed that they rid Syria of all chemical weapons. On April 4th, 2017, just a few days ago, Assad bombed a rebel facility that was filled with chemical weapons. The same day that he apparently gassed his own people. This is insane. Get your head out of the sand, people. This is happening right now, and it risks all of us. And it's amazing that people so easily forget history. It takes very little time these days, now more than ever, for people just forget the last week and go on goose-stepping into the future. I don't stand for the anti-war left that went missing under Obama's 8 years of bombing children in the Middle East. I don't stand for the small government right that suddenly decided that they will go into hiding as well under the Trump administration. I stand for individual liberties and freedoms against the collectivist order which is forming on a global scale. Your apathy begets more of this bullshit. Stay tuned, folks. This is getting incredibly dangerous, and it's hard to not scream. I wish there was more that I could do, but for now, the videos will suffice. We may have to march, though, eventually. There's no saying how fast and dangerously this can escalate. Thanks for watching, everyone. You can check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated. And of course, check our address for Bitcoin in the description and the comments, as well as on the screen for you to scan if you so please. And check our link to the Red Pill Expo happening in June in Montana below, where you can buy tickets, where you can see people like G. Edward Griffin, Robert Kiyosaki, Ty Bollinger, James Corbett, Lord Monckton, and so many others. We hope to see you there. So stay tuned for much more from WAM. This is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.
Wow.